What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another Beta Memoirs. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing if you're looking for stock market analysis. I do a lot of fundamentals. I do technicals as well. I don't just do one or the other. I trade options. I trade equity. I do long-term, short-term trades, swing trades, daily trades. I do it all. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, consider subscribing. So let's talk about today. We've continued up this morning and we blasted through everything. Massive push by tech recently. It could be because of the rates raised on the yields is what's causing this inflation concerns. What dipped us the past couple of days. We do have the vote for the debt ceiling. That is something that we got word yesterday from Mitch McConnell saying that it will be fixed, but yet that being said, that's when the market turned yesterday. But also there hasn't been a final decision. I believe the last it left off, it was they were saying that they're going to extend that to December as well. So we'll have to see where that stands going forward. If that's the case, then yes, we will continue to push up until closer till December. Again, it kind of brings us right around the FOMC meeting to get more understanding of where everything is at, where the economy is essentially at. And ultimately, what the sole driver from what Powell has been going off of is unemployment rate. And we get that tomorrow. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're going to see that in the morning before the market even starts. Again, that's essentially one of the biggest key points that Powell keeps pointing out is he wants to make sure everybody, and not just middle and upper class, are making their way out of the pandemic. We want to make sure everybody as a whole is. So being said, that number is going to weigh a little bit heavier than it typically normally does. We've seen the weight of it throughout the pandemic, but ultimately it's going to weigh a little bit more, especially going into the FOMC meeting, since we don't really have any other gauge going on until then, aside from the vote and the debt ceiling and all that jazz. The evergreen thing, I think, is still something on the back burner, but I don't think it is wreaking as much havoc on the U.S. market as a lot of people may predict. But again, that's still always something to keep in mind. So SPX actually doesn't, it looks good. We needed a pullback. Yeah, we started selling off towards the end of the day. I think this is more due to just because we've been shooting up so hard for the past essentially day and a half. We needed a pullback. We gapped up over a lot of EMAs, a lot of stocks, a lot of FANG was like this today. We just don't want to break back below this. That is my only concern. It's been hard to get over, especially this 38.90. We definitely don't want to break back below that because that's, I think, going to cause more problems. It took us quite a while to get out of there. Again, if we get some bad news about the vote or something tomorrow, could be possibly. But ultimately, I think we are good from this point. I think we can start continuing up. Again, we still got another week. We still got option expiration in a short week next week, so something to keep in mind. So the market is going to be a little wishy-washy come next week. But and tomorrow is Friday. Like I normally typically do on Thursdays, I don't like to put out a big watch list because of the fact that especially in a long weekend, you'll probably see a lot more selling than anything else tomorrow. And the market is actually set up really good. Like I said, if we just want to hold that 43.96 mark. If we can hold that, I think we'll be just fine. We want to break back over this. I don't want this to wick all the way back down, and then that just means that we just retested essentially everything from underneath. We've already did one retest already and got rejected. Is this going to be another rejection here? Yes, we do have some news. We've also had some positive news about everything. We also had, I believe it was the banks that were on today. They were talking about inflation. They do believe it is transitory as well. That is really supply and demand right now. Once everything catches up, which will eventually catch up, and then at that point, things will kind of come back down from that point. But again, it's hard because you're transitioning out of trips and all that stuff. So the travel stocks and stuff, saw a lot of inflation, but now it's kind of backing out towards that. Now we're aiming towards other supply for holiday season. So being said, the market doesn't look bad. We would definitely want to see how we open tomorrow and go from there. Tesla has Investor Day here later tonight. I've heard rumor of possible dividends for Tesla shareholders. There's a shareholder meeting tonight, but I don't know if that's true. Again, it's just rumor. We'll find out tomorrow if that's the case. This will be the number one on essentially the watch list tomorrow. But we definitely wanted to break this 803 mark. This 803, 806 mark is where it's really been struggling. This seller is definitely coming strong here. So if they do have some kind of dividend stuff that does come overnight, or maybe they share something, maybe they come out with a $25,000 car, electric EV, that might push us over. There's a lot of different things that can come out of that meeting that might actually push us over this soar here. This it might actually push us over this rough spot here. So we're gonna have to see if that's the case. Google monster overnight gap actually looks perfect for tomorrow. One of the ones I'll be watching tomorrow. I wanted to hold that 2763 mark essentially, and then at that point I'm going to try to get in. It looks like a retest, and then go back to all-time highs going into earnings. Apple break retest. It looks like tomorrow, possibly 141 tomorrow. But we do want it to get back over this 146 marks to start actually seeing a full reversal on this one. Facebook has really been struggling. It did hit that. It's had a lot of bad news. It was really sold it off down to the 200 EMA. But I think it's still good. I know JP Morgan came out, give it a hefty price target, I think of 420 or something like that today. So this one to definitely keep on watching us going on earnings. I did pick up some calls to cover earnings. Because of that fact, I think it's going to start climbing back. I think the market in general is going to just start climbing back from this point. I think everything has been kind of eased over. I don't think, again, the vote stuff is it, even after yesterday and them essentially talking about how everything was going to be as far as it was going to be fixed before then. And so I think this will reverse quite quickly. Again, we are going into a short weekend, so we might see some selling tomorrow. Microsoft actually looks really good here. Did break and hold just as long as it holds that 293 mark tomorrow. I think this can be going back to all-time highs. PLTR, I did buy some shares in this. I'm holding it. I like the fact that it is holding the 200. I definitely don't want this to break the 23 mark, but I can see this popping back up. Has a solid foundation here. It's at a very bullish bull box here, so it's at the bottom of the bull box. So I'm hoping we can continue up with a higher low looking into this going forward. A Square, definitely one I really like for earnings. I don't know if it's going to, if we do start selling off again, I'll definitely be looking at this. Right now, it's kind of middle playing field right now, and I don't know if it will come down from that point before earnings. Roblox, definitely struggle. It came way down, but saw some life again today. I definitely like it to get back above that 78 mark. It is still, if you're looking for investing, I think it's still a fantastic pickup right now. But it definitely needs a break. You got a couple different wedge lines here, or trend lines for it to break. So it's something just to keep on watch. I mean, this could bounce up to 78 mark, possibly even 79 mark before it starts selling off again, or maybe it breaks, but something to keep on watch. Snap looking for retest of 74.66. UPTSD. I've been actually watching this. I did take calls on this. I did scalp this today. Looking for that retest. If we get a retest around 298 mark, that would actually be perfect. I can see us going back to all-time highs very quickly. My thing is a lot of these are breaking, just retesting. This is a daily retest, something we're looking at. Then I think we will continue on. Affirm looks like it's found the ceiling at that 136 mark. So looking for that to come back down and do some retesting, possibly at the 115 mark. Amazon. One thing I did like about this is back over the 200. I'll be watching this again tomorrow. As long as it stays over that 200, I'll take another position. I'll look for more time to cover earnings, though. That's something towards the end of the month. I believe they've come out when exactly their earnings is, but I know Apple, Shop, and a couple of them have that last week of April. I know Tesla hasn't announced anything. They might actually announce tonight when the exact earnings date is. Shop looked good. I actually swung this overnight, captured this move. It looks really good. Look for a possible a little pullback tomorrow, then go back to possibly all-time highs into earnings. SE look really good. A nice pop. Want to see if this breaks tomorrow, breaks out of this wedge, and then go from that point. So I'm kind of looking at that. If it opens at 329, that'd be great. I can see us going back to all-time highs for SE as well. Net's been a beast along with the firm, although it's coming into resistance here. So I want to see if this breaks tomorrow. If this does break tomorrow, we're essentially looking for a new ceiling at that point. So we might actually get quite a bit of a run out of a net tomorrow. Etsy, again, looking for a retest at the 212 mark tomorrow. I think would be fantastic to go try to attempt to go for 227. TTD has been grinding through all this resistance. I've almost picked this up a couple different times. It is starting to break this. If we can get it back over the 200, this 70.32 mark would be great. Hold if we can get a daily candle above this and hold. I think that would be great. And for a reversal for TTD. Goldman Sachs. I hate banks, but this this actually looks like we're getting a wedge break here tomorrow. So Goldman Sachs might be really good. I know they got earnings right around the corner on the 15th. So next week, Goldman Sachs might be actually a fantastic grab tomorrow. I hate the banks. I don't normally play them. Played them a couple times throughout the years, but not something I really gravitate towards. MU, AMD actually had a monster day today. And it looks like it's trying to break the wedge. Is something I really want to watch tomorrow. That candle opens up and retests here. I want to try to grab this somewhere around that 105 mark, 125 mark or so on a retest. AMD could have a monster rip 2, possibly back to that 122 mark. So that's something I want to keep on watch. Airbnb, same thing. Is this going to be a wedge break, or are we going to retest and then try to re-break out? There's a lot of wedge breaks we had today. NOW, another possible wedge break. We get down here to this 627.43 mark. Could be a retest of the trend and see if we go back to all-time highs. Overstock, this one looks like a break and a retest. There's a lot of these that we're seeing, so it's really pick your poison and go from there. DraftKings, another small wedge break there. I don't know about this larger wedge break here. Yeah, it's a wedge break right there. That's a retest, so I definitely want to watch this tomorrow on DraftKings. There's definitely a wedge break tomorrow. There is resistance there, so see if we have enough to break out of that. It might slowly start melting up after this wedge break and retest. Back you had the wedge break, but it still hasn't come back down. We might actually see that tomorrow. It looks like it's starting to wick back down. So look for that tomorrow at the probably about the 79 mark. But that's pretty much what I got. I know it's kind of a long video, but there's been a lot going on. So just trying to record everything, give you guys inside scoop and thesis on what I think is going to happen next. It's always good to have some sort of thesis as opposed to just going at it blindly and know some news. That's why I talk about fundamental news, because it's good to know to cause you from taking on positions that you probably normally would take because of technical reasons, and find out that those technicals are breaking. We're seeing that a lot this year in this market, is that fundamentals are really helping with avoiding some of the pitfalls in this market. A lot of people are trying to play these trend breaks, and then we got news that comes out and it just completely obliterates that pattern that was trying to play out more so than normal. So being said, if you've made it this far, remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Till next time, I'll see you guys later.